my gut reaction is if you're not going to get Tyrese Maxey doing this nightly like this, right? Because this is a great night. It's a phenomenal night. But my gut reactions is like now he has like the playoff confidence in his first playoff start. So that growth can happen real quick, and I'm hoping it does because listen, if this guy can do similar stuff like this in the postseason, this becomes an extremely tough basketball team to beat. Right? It comes down to who's going to be. We talk about who's going to be your three, and on a night where your best player, I'll keep saying this, your best player had 19 points. 19 points. So your fourth leading goddamn scorer, and you roll somebody. And your energy and effort from the first quarter tonight is also my gut reaction to it, right? Right? Their energy was right on point. It was right on point from tip-off, right? They wanted to out-rebound you. Joel was a monster on the glass early on in this basketball game, and you saw it. You saw the energy. Can you match their energy? And we absolutely did tonight. Now, listen, it's a 7-game series, so you got to go match energy again, right? You can't rest on your laurels and come postseason basketball. But if you're talking about an extremely impressive win to kickstart this postseason, this is it right here.
And the biggest thing that you talked about in your open was, again, are we expecting and projecting him to have 38 points, 14 of 21, 5 of 8 from 3, 21 points in the third quarter? No. But what I will say, okay, is I'm not going to compare him to Jordan. I'm not going to compare him to Iverson. I'm not going to do that yet. If he solidifies himself as that go-to second star, and he's going to be dependable like that, where he can have at least, he can get you at least 24, 25, changes everything.
Ryan knows this term when a guy is over with the crowd. I have been in that stadium I was there when Allen Iverson came back to Philly for when he returned to the team for that short run at the end of his career. That crowd with Tyrese Maxey tonight was one of the loudest crowds I have ever been around. That was insane. And every time they went on offense, every time he touched the ball, it was unbelievable. And when he hit that, he looked like he was 5 feet behind the 3-point line. When he dropped that one rainmaker, that was one of the funnest moments in a crowd I've ever been a part of.
I was going to ask you about that, like to describe that, because sitting here and at the house, I screeched. Like I was pacing around because it was the definition of a heat check. It looked like a Dame Lillard friggin' like a Trae Young logo 3. It was healthy. And I'm like, oh my God, don't you dare. Don't you dare. And it was flush. Is that, because I know you've been in some crazy crowds with, WWE wrestling. Where does that rank as far as crowd reaction?
That was like a top 5 crowd moment for me. And I've been at some crazy wrestling stuff. I've been to a lot of really significant sports games. I was at the NFC Championship game. And that was, I'm telling you, and particularly for an individual player, that was one of I had chills from him. It was the crowd going so insane, and like you couldn't see it on TV because their plays are active, but we could see how the bench was reacting to him, and then in between timeouts, and then you could see too at points like this is why James Harden. People who say this guy's not a good teammate, bullshit. I watched him a million times tonight, pull Maxey to the side, giving him encouragement, giving him advice, and you could see it. And Maxey, he is like very intuitive to following what he was saying. And it was really special to see, So I just got at one point, after he hit that 3, they called the timeout and they start going over to the bench. And you see a couple of the guys, DeAndre Jordan was one of them, literally start going like this because he was so hot, like flaming or trying to cool him down. It was so great. And for a young kid like that, in that environment, that atmosphere, that's the kind of stuff that's a launching point for a career for him.
This isn't like when people bring up, and I'm not even just going to use like Michael Jordan or Kobe, for example, or even Iverson, because you see
brought them up many times tonight. You know what I mean? I'm like, if you bring them up one more time, I might have to mute.
Oh, I'm going to put you in the group with that Instagram guy. Stop it.
That's 3. That's 3 in a row, though. That's 3 in a row.
Listen, you put up 38 when you're 21. Listen, he's not even there yet. He's not even there.
Yeah, listen, it's got to be a body of work, right? So, do I trust in him to be a body of work? But I don't even want to put that kid into those names. Like, you know what I mean? Not that you are. Like, I don't even want to bring up Allen with him because it's like, dude, I mean, this guy was going for 50 in the playoffs, carrying the team. So it's like, this guy's 21. Yeah. So, like, I want to allow him to grow, too, as a player because I know he will. You know what I mean? I know he's going to work. So, like, part of me is like, dude, when he's 25, like, I don't know. All bets are off for a guy that's going to outwork the room. You know what I mean? All bets are always going to be off for a guy with a lot of talent to outwork everybody because he's a guy that's sitting at home and says, shit, somebody's working harder than me. I'm just going to go to the gym right now. He's got that kind of mentality. And when you have that kind of mentality, this goes back to coaching too. I say it all the time. When you have that kind of mentality that you feel guilty as a baseball player because you feel like somebody's getting more swings than you right now and you go start taking swings, that means the competitive drive is getting there. That means we're getting to where we want to get to. And this kid's had it from day one.